All right, let's give it a go. All right, today we're going to take a look at some of the key triggers for the deadlift that will keep you safe and keep injuries from happening, which of course translate to setbacks. So we don't want to lose any ground with that. Let's take a look quickly at what these key triggers are, because they matter. And also we'll take a look at a deadlift to see what do they look like when they're being used. All right, so a couple of them, we definitely want to make sure that we stand so close to the bar that our shins are leaning on the bar. And when we do the lift, you almost want to bring the bar up as if you're dragging it up your shins and over your knees, even though you won't be, but that close. Because a big mistake that's made with the deadlift frequently is when you come off the ground, as soon as it comes off the ground, it slightly swings forward a little bit, and that'll compromise your strength and risk you possibly getting an injury. And then before we do this lift and talk about the other key triggers, we want to talk a little bit about when the shins are close to the bar, you want to keep your feet as close as you can be comfortable together. And then you want to keep your hands close together as comfortable as you can be for the deadlift. At this point, we'll talk a little bit about this belt, because we want to have, you could have an entry-level belt or a semi-pro belt. When you tighten your belt, you want to breathe and brace, where you take in that big breath and you tighten your body core, because the belt and the breath will give you the stability to your body to keep injuries away and give you the biggest gains you can get out of the deadlift. The next part you want to make sure you focus on is, why do these wrist wraps matter? And the reason they matter, when you get up to the highest weights and you're starting to climb back up with your deadlift again, what happens is you tend to, when it slightly slips in your hands, you upper body muscle the deadlift, which can risk injuries and take away from your gains. So we're going to take a look now how to put all of that together and see what it looks like. All right, so we're going to go ahead in here. We already did the warm-up for these weights. There's about 365 on here. Actually, it is 365. And this is going to tell me what I want to know if I want to move up and I invested enough to bump up to 385, because I'm on my road back to 405 and eventually 415. Let's see what this looks like. Key triggers are all being set in place here. Take that big deep body core breath, and we're going to lean into this. And the last part of the deadlift that matters the most, when you get it above your knees, you want to make sure you actually finish the rest of the lift with you driving your hips into it and your glutes and hamstrings, because that's what straightens you up, not your back, and you get the rest of the lift to the lockout. And last but not least, drop it. Don't let it down at your highest, heaviest weights, because the most injuries occur when you muscle it and let it down quietly. So let's have a look at how all these key triggers come into play. Belt's tight.